Hello, I'm Frugal Farmer. I'm a YouTube creator and I'm a friend of Amy with What the Paranormal. This is my contribution to Ghost Story series. I think there's a common uh, understanding that ghosts are scary, bad people. And I myself even subscribe to that school of thought. But I guess I have to go. The house I live in was my grandmother's people's house. This was part of her dowry, so to speak. And I stay in the original home place. My people settled this land. And the front part of this house was here during the Civil War. People were brought back here uh, after they died and for sitting ups to wash the body and uh, get the casket ready. And there's been numerous bodies in the front part of this house. And the house was added on to over the years. And as families grew and crops were good where they could afford it. But I feel like there's presences in my house. I don't know how to describe them. It's nothing I'm scared of. I know sometimes these presences kind of cause friction or uneasy feelings in the house, especially if someone's here they don't like. I had an individual stay here for a little while, and it was a very bad situation. And she even said she felt like there were, she called them shadow people in the house. And I said, well, I said, they got to be my relatives. I said, they've never bowed any ill will towards me. And so she eventually left, and a calm came back over the house. And I hear noises and stuff, but nothing ever scared me in this house, even as a little boy. And I noticed more stuff as a little boy than I did. And I attribute it to my maternal grandparents. This was their house for a while. And then my uh, great grandparents stayed here, and just a host of relatives. Because back in the day, if someone didn't marry, they stayed at the home place, and whoever was married stayed there, and that's just how it was. And we had a lot of people who were here with us. There was a lady named Aunt May. Aunt May worked for my grandparents and my parents, and we always called her Aunt May. And she had not worked with us for quite some time when I came along, and I barely remember how long ago it's been, but we'd go by to see Aunt May, carry her food or whatever, or my mama might carry her to a doctor's appointment or something. And Aunt May just had a loving way about her. And she just, I think she's maybe come around some because, it's like it's a kind spirit that comes through. And I couldn't differentiate to tell you, who's who, but I know, there's no animosity in it. And a lot of times I think my mother comes around just in the way certain birds will show up. One day I was sitting on my porch. I'd eat breakfast or dinner on my porch a lot, if the weather's permitting, and if it isn't hell's front porch of summer that we experience in North Carolina. And I was eating breakfast one morning, and a hummingbird flew up and was just buzzing right around me as if to tell me something. Well, hummingbirds were my mother's favorite birds. And she fed them, and it started feeding them again just for her, and because they remind me of her too when they come around. They eat, then they're gone. But as far as I've walked by certain doors, and it's like I see a shadow or something move in the other room, and I go back and look, and Still, that don't scare me. I sleep good at night. When I go to sleep, I hear bumps and thumps, and I have been awakened at different times. And I know I was working a lot of hours one time, and it felt like somebody pushed me in my chest to wake me up, and I got up, and whenever I get up like that, I automatically go look outside, see what's going on. Well, the car had pulled up, and I didn't know the people, so I went out there, and they had some kind of flimsy excuse, and I told them, I said, y'all are trespassing, y'all need to leave. But nothing ever became of that. But I often wonder what would have happened had I not woke up like that. And I always think, it was one of my relatives that woke me up. But I raised my family here, and I'll probably die here. Won't be brought back here, but that's a tradition that I don't think anybody around here does anymore. Matter of fact, sitting up was people would keep rodents away from the body, and you'd have a designated person there to shoo flies away from the body too. And a lot of times they'd have a thin cloth draped over the body, and then somebody wanted to see them, they'd go over there, and they don't want flies crawling all around the face and the mouth and the nose of the body. And everybody, they'd pay their respects, and then they'd get the body and put it in the pine casket and get them in the ground. But I think there's forces out there. I can't explain them. It says so in the Bible. There's stuff out there, there was a legion that went in the hogs. Of course, that was a evil force, but I think if there's an evil force, it could be a friendly force too. But thanks for listening to Old Man's Ramblings.